it's supposed to feel.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seeds as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? Okay, who we got here today? We got Kai, how you going? Fly by Stew. Out to lunch, Deb, you're fourth. You thought you were third, but you're fourth. You're in there. Sherry, how you going? Carl, how you going? Showtime, come on, Hev. Sorry, I got a phone call right at 9 o'clock. Lucette, how you going? J1, how you going? He has risen. Yes, he has. Robert said, Happy Easter and 420 to all. How you going? Raven, how you going? Good to see you guys. Okay, let's get into a little bit of news before hopefully we go to Rumble and hopefully Tim Air joins us. Okay. Rapid Response 47 posted Donald J. Trump said, since our announcement of Liberation Day, many world leaders and business executives have come to me asking for relief from tariffs. It's good to see that the world knows we're serious because we are. They must right the wrongs of decades of abuse, but it won't be easy for them. We must rebuild the wealth of our country and create true reciprocity. For those who want the easiest path, come to America and build in America. I'm trying, by the way. I just applied for my birth certificate. I had to apply in Ireland. So there you go. I've paid for it too, so it better come. Okay. MAGA Voice said, Donald Trump just called China out for polluting our beautiful country. Enough's enough. Donald J. Trump said a gift from China in the Pacific Ocean. So you want to know who is creating the great garbage patch in the Pacific Ocean? Look no further. Apparently it's China's fault. Okay, Wayne Dupre said negative people look for negative things or create negative narratives to encircle negative responses. They are bad for the entire earth. Have a good outlook, guys. It's not like the secret type of thing, but in a way, our thoughts matter. So the more positive you can be and the less negative, the better for everyone, including yourself, especially yourself. Believe me, I was a negative Nelly for years, okay? After going through a little bit of trauma, I went, into, where am I? Who am I? Holy shit. Anyway, once you come out the other side, okay, you just got to, it's like changing the channel in your mind from a negative to a positive. So I've always looked at it that way. It's like changing channel in your head. Okay, if you're a negative person, try and look at things positively for a while. Yeah, I know it's hard, but, you can do it. It's just a different way of thinking. C3 said new rule. Any judge that tries to block the deportation of illegals gets a special delivery of Trendy Aragua or MS-13 gang members to their house. Problem solved. That's a joke, obviously, but, any judge that tries to block the deportation, they're trying to, say just deliver the gang members straight to their house, okay? Okay, now over to England. Poor UK. GB News. Keir Starmer refuses to take action over Labor MPs who plotted to defy Supreme Court's trans ruling. So they're not going to do anything. These people have been caught in messages, a lot of the Labor MPs, and nothing is being done about it. They are going to defy the orders. Okay. Dr. Herb said happy 420, everyone. Just thought I'd chuck that one in there. Okay. Lara Logan says, so let me get this straight. While President Trump's trying to negotiate an end to this war, a US state rep is touring the Ukrainian front line with cameras, firing weapons at Russians and gloating about hitting his target. This is a crime. Why are these people so invested in Ukraine? Rep Brian Fitzpatrick said it was my profound honour to deliver a very personal message to Vladimir Putin today from the front lines of the war near the Russian border. On behalf of our PA1 community, the only permissible details to share are that the message was delivered on target. Oh, you're full of shit, mate. Seriously? Do you believe it? I can't. Oh, how are these idiots travelling? I believe there was a government travel ban put in place. Like, who's paying for this BS? Yeah, very interesting, isn't it? Rep Brian Fitz, congressman from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. What the hell are you doing over in Ukraine? Are you breaking the Logan Act? Wow, I'm not voting for that. I'm from Bucks County. Well done, guys. You tell them. Bloody idiots. Oh, they're writing on the bombs again, are they? Oh, dear God. Yeah, big setup. Big show, James O'Keefe said demons summon right now because we're over the target in an unprecedented way. The work that we're doing is biggest ever. Audience gets disappointed that subjects aren't in jail, but remember, power and evil hate sunlight. They're terrified of you knowing what they did. And this is where this site came in to say that these people, half of the exposing them is going to be letting them stew, knowing that the public are about to find out what they did. Okay, so they're freaking. So let them freak for longer. Let them really feel it, like their victims felt it, like we all felt it. Okay, Sean Farash said if Kilmar Brego Garcia feared being deported to El Salvador in 2019 because he'd be targeted by a rival gang, it would mean he belonged to a gang himself, right? Well, you'd think so. If he's going to be targeted by a rival gang, that means that he's in a gang. Yeah, because a rival gang, So he's in one. Okay, we got some of this twit. Meghan's mole said Meghan Markle with Jake Rosenberg before meeting Prince Harry and while she was with Corey Vitillo. Never have I seen Meghan pose with Harry in this manner. No, we haven't, have we? No, she doesn't like him. Okay, this is more of her. Oh my God, has she never seen a fucking duck before? And ducklings? I mean, I know they're cute, but like, this is all theatre. Okay, look, watch. Holy shit. Like, it's cute. I love it, you know? But this is put on. Okay, someone's probably released the ducks and ducklings, okay, from over here somewhere. Just, you know, I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie Funny Farm? Where in the end they're trying to sell the house and he goes, cue the deer when the people are looking through the house and they let the deer go and it runs across the lawn and the people think it's beautiful, you know? Kind of like that. Okay, Ollie London said Megyn Kelly appears in spoof video mocking Meghan Markle's new Netflix cooking show. With love, Meghan. Watch this. This is hilarious. Okay, how's my volume? So it's not too loud. Just turn it down a little bit.
It's important to me to stay relatable. I love to elevate a guest's visit. Microwave popcorn.
You plop it right in there. It's so simple. Only the lazy people don't do this.
Put it in a paper bag.
Here we go. It's right behind you.
Oh my God. You did it.
We're going to put it in one of these special cellophane bags.
Yeah, we all have them.
Oh. It's okay. It's not expensive like your clothes are.
Look at how fun that is. These are amazing and you're going to absolutely love them.
This, we're just gonna put into a different bag.
They're spectacular. And then I just dump them. Just like that.
Where are you getting all these like mini brainstorms? I'm so impressed.
Maybe in the next wave of our friendship, I'll try to explain it to you.
Wow, mind blown. I didn't know you could put things in bags. Oh dear, I honestly do not like Meghan Markle at all. That's why I try not to report on her because I don't like her. Oh. And this one, Meghan McCain, said it's honestly wildly refreshing to have a vice president with such a young family bring his children to so many events. I have really loved watching all of them during this administration. We haven't seen this in so long. Anna Lulis said Vance is one of the most powerful people on earth, yet he's single-handedly humanising children in public. Incredible. Did you ever think, is this the Meghan McCain? Like, seriously? No, surely not. Is it? Political nepo baby? Is this the I don't know. Wow. Okay. But yes, Vance is humanising having children again. Making it like a normal thing, how it should be. Okay, Midas Touch said Pope Francis skipped the Vatican's official meeting with Vice President J.D. Vance on Saturday, instead of having his number 2 give the Vice President a lecture on compassion, according to a Vatican statement. Because this Pope, he wants immigration into all Western countries. He's encouraging the downfall of the West. What the hell are you doing, mate? I don't know. Robert Morton said Chris Steele stepping out of the shadows to speak publicly. That's big. From MI6 to Literary Fest, he's not just selling a book. He's sounding the alarm on Trump, Russia, and the democracy at stake. The one who's in charge of the Steele dossier? You mean the Russia bullshit collusion? Yep, the man behind Trump dossier to speak at Fleet Street's Literary Festival. Oh, look, it's got 43 likes. I don't know which side Robert's on, but yeah, got to watch people selling a book, okay? Just beware of people trying to sell a book. Money laundering, way to make money. Okay, and this one, I just thought I'd play this. Patrick Dexter said Amazing Grace from outside my cottage Wishing you a peaceful Easter from the west of Ireland. Okay, we ready? I just ruined it with my singing. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I ruined your beautiful music. Look, this is Ireland. How beautiful is it, hey? Ireland for the Irish, mate. Okay, Tucker Carlson said Conor McGregor says the Irish people are intentionally being erased by mass migration. He's considering a run for president of Ireland to stop it. I thought he already was. Okay, anyway, there's a bloody big long... nearly an hour long Tucker Carlson interview with Conor McGregor. And that's on Twitter. So if anyone wants to watch that, I've just retweeted it. If anyone's on Twitter. And Conor McGregor has said, "You will not destroy Ireland and be free to walk away." Same goes here for Australia and the USA. They're not going to get away with it. I know people think they are, but they're not. Shadow of Ezra said the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom may be headed for a major scandal as rumours intensify about explosive CCTV footage allegedly showing Keir Starmer and Lord Ali in compromising positions inside a private office. The footage reportedly captures something physical between the two, and Starmer's wife was shown the video, prompting her to storm out and contact divorce lawyers immediately. Labor HQ is reportedly in chaos, trying to figure out a way to bury the story. And here we are. So there you go. Lisette, you said you saw the footage and it's fake? Okay. Basil the Great says Starmer boasts of how many people he's had arrested for social media posts, but tells the world we have free speech. What is wrong with him? Remember when he sat in front of Trump and, boasted about his free speech? Listen to this.
Over 400 people now have been arrested. 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them are already in court. Over 400 people.
Do they call him Starmer the Charmer? He's got about as much charm as my little tiny finger. My fingernail. Okay, Adam Brooks, a.k.a. SXPR. If these Labor MPs dare to reverse any ruling that protects our women and girls, watch the reaction, Keir Starmer. Watch the reaction. Ministers in WhatsApp plot to defy the trans ruling. A Supreme Court judgment piles pressure on Starmer to protect women's only spaces. Leaked messages reveal revolt on the front bench. Darren Grimes said, "Oh dear, Starmer falls flat on his face once again. Christians didn't contribute to Britain like some recent arrival to these shores. They built it. Brick by brick, church by church, law by law. We're not just a Christian country, we're a country because of Christianity." And Keir Starmer, being the real flake that he is wishing everyone a happy Easter to Christmas. To Christians across the UK and around the world as they celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. As we look to the future with hope, I want to thank Christians for their huge contributions to our country. And why are you locking them up for speech? And why are you letting in so many Muslims if you're, thankful to Christians for their huge contributions in building the country? Dear God. Okay, Lee Harris said every single person who is put in prison for hurty words, I'm not the only one saying that, on social media should be immediately released. Lucy Connolly is a political prisoner. Keir Starmer is evil. Because apparently she's been locked up too. It's you know what? I think they're doing this try and show the rest of us to shut up, but too bad. We are not going to shut up. We're going to keep speaking up. Concerned citizens said this is what's now known amongst the cabbie population in London. Keir Starmer and his wife have now separated. Keir Starmer is a bisexual who's been having affairs with Lord Ali. Okay, everything mentioned here is a theory until proven fact, okay? And everyone mentioned is innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. The London taxi drivers know, and Keir Starmer is just another in a long line of WF-controlled degenerate shills. Okay, apparently the taxi cab drivers know about it.
This is what is now known amongst the cabbie population in London. One, that Keir Starmer and his wife separated.
Yep, heard that story, yeah.
The second is that he has a child out of wedlock.
Yep, that's what everyone's talking about.
And the third one is that he's a bisexual.
Yep, heard that one as well.
And he's been having an affair with Lord Ali.
Right.
So,
honestly, I don't blame his wife for a start. If I found out that a man that I was seeing was, oh my God, bisexual, I'd be throwing up everywhere. I would literally be throwing up everywhere. Could not even fathom the idea. Okay, God Save Great Britain said breaking. It's reported that soldiers are signing off, handing their notice in record numbers. British soldiers refused to fight for Starmer and his traitorous government. So it's all falling apart for them. Okay, and there's Keir Starmer wishing everyone, I'm not going to like that. In fact, I'll take that off because I bookmarked someone else who shared it. Fever Fry said, remember everyone, Mark Carney is definitely not Justin Trudeau. He's totally different than Justin Trudeau. Let's have a look at this.
There he did it. Congratulations, Mr. Trudeau. You've joined the Hip Flip Club. Really appreciate that.
It's an exclusive membership. I'm very pleased about it.
Yep, okay. Anyway. Okay, Dan Mazias said Mark Carney is planning to spend billions more than Justin Trudeau did. We can't afford a fourth Liberal term. Vote for change. Vote Conservative. Who's this? Pierre Polyev. I don't know, guys. I'm a bit stuck on Canada. What do you do, mate? Peter McCaffrey said Mark Carney logic. When I was Governor of the Bank of Canada, I saved Canada. When I was the Governor of the Bank of England, I saved England. When I was Economic Advisor to Justin Trudeau, I had absolutely nothing to do with anything. What on earth are you talking about? Yeah, that seems to be what he's like. He'll boast about saving Canada, saving England, which I don't think he did anyway. And, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about with Justin Trudeau. Sean Davis said if the Supreme Court's going to ignore the law and the Constitution, then the President is obligated to ignore the Supreme Court and put it in its place. Okay, this is about the USA now. And I believe that what's happening here is going to have to go to military tribunals. And that's where I think this is heading. What do you think, guys? Got to tighten this bloody microphone up a bit. My microphone's having a bit of a... It's every time I put it in its place, it falls slightly. Okay. Charlie Kirk said, seeing a lot of panic about last night's Supreme Court ruling on deportations. Just pause and take breath. And this is what it's talking about as well, this one here. It's a temporary injunction applying to one specific set of migrants pending a hearing. The full court has repeatedly upheld the president's power to preserve the order. Okay, so it's only one part of it. And Coulter said, luckily, the Supreme Court wasn't elected president. Keep deporting the infiltrators, POTUS. So people are saying just ignore it and keep going. Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel A. Alito Jr. dissented. A group of migrants has been scheduled to be flown out of the country, according to people familiar with the matter. Supreme Court for now blocks deportations of Venezuelan migrants. Okay. Now, DC Drano on that same subject said, Dear Supreme Court, by not allowing a president to do mass deportations after he won the popular vote based almost entirely off the promise to do so, you're not only jeopardising the fragile legitimacy of your institution, but you're sending this country down a dark path we may never recover from. You failed to step in when 10 million illegals invaded our country, but now you step in to stop their deportations? This is recipe for disaster. Okay, have a good one, Kai. Take care. God love you. John Kennedy said, my car doesn't run off pixie dust and unicorn urine. We have to have fossil fuels in the greatest economy in all of human history. Have a listen.
So could those permits all be done by the executive power, or would the Senate and the Congress come in and as usual, make a mess of things?
Well, I'd like to have belt and suspenders. I think the president, the executive branch has a lot of authority, but I'd like to see Congress act. It'll be difficult because many of my Democratic friends just don't like fossil fuels. I think that's unrealistic, as I've said before. We have to have fossil fuels in the greatest economy in all of human history. My car doesn't run, as I've also said before, off pixie dust and unicorn urine. The oil and gas is in the Gulf.
Yeah.
But there's one precondition. You've got to drill for it. And President Biden and his woke mafia wouldn't let us drill. And they wouldn't let us import, or rather export LNG either, for that matter.
Yeah. And by the way, electric cars have to get their energy from someplace too, and usually it comes from fossil fuels. Not all the time, but usually it does. Senator, have a wonderful, blessed, holy weekend, and have a great Easter. Thank you so much for coming in.
I like John Kennedy. He's a good man. I just want to say hello, Dee Lee. Hello, Real Housewife. How you going? George, how you going? Did I say hello to you already? And Dee Lee? And who else has joined us since then? I think that's it. Yep. Okay, cool. If I've missed anyone, hey.
So could those permits...
Secretary Kennedy, making sure our hospitals are operating effectively is critical to the Maha agenda. I sat down with hospital CEOs and learnt about the issues preventing optimal patient care. From perverse incentives to administrative costs, HHS Gov is committed to helping American hospitals provide world-class care that put patients first. And under my leadership, that's exactly what they'll do. Good on him. We do need an overhaul of the medical system in all countries, I believe, because they're not doing, they're not doing very well, and they haven't been for years.
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your Secretary for Health and Human Services, and today we had really an extraordinary, very informative meeting with hospital CEOs from all over the country, from rural and urban areas. These are smaller, nonprofit hospitals that are doing an extraordinary job at treating their patients. The real fulcrum of the meeting, and what I really learned from it, is about the perverse incentives that discourage these hospitals from treating patients and force them to spend the bulk of their resources on administrative costs. And we talked about very specific ways to save hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars annually just by small common sense rule changes that really could focus these hospitals on making America healthy again and giving real, authentic, and high quality patient care to their patients. And that's one of the objectives of this administration, and it's an exciting opportunity for us really to change the nature of healthcare very, very quickly.
I'm excited for America. Can't wait to see what happens. Secretary Kennedy said, I'm very grateful to POTUS and DNI Gabbard for lifting the veil on these documents. The assassinations of JFK, RFK and MLK were important crossroads that changed the trajectory of our country from an idealistic and transparent democracy to a dark and secretive autocracy. The release of these documents is an important milestone in President Trump's crusade to restore America as an exemplary republic and a moral authority. DNI Tulsi Gabbard said, nearly 60 years after the tragic assassination of Senator Robert F. Kennedy, The American people will, for the first time, have the opportunity to review the federal government's investigation thanks to POTUS leadership and commitment to maximum transparency. Director Gabbard and Secretary Kennedy's statement on release of previous classified Senator Robert F. Kennedy assassination records. Okay, and there's the letter. Okay, there are going to be additional 50,000 pages of RFK assassination files. Okay, so there's more coming out. Okay, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. News said he has risen. Hallelujah. Happy Easter, everyone. Make America healthy again. Hey, Virginia, how you doing? Secretary Kennedy said, thank you, Sean Hannity, for letting me set the record straight. Bottom line, more than 25% of people who have severe autism will never go on a date, write a poem, live independently, or have a job. We need to identify the exposures that are causing this epidemic and compensate the families of the injured. HHS government, under my leadership, will be unrelenting in assisting affected individuals in living up to all their potentials. And they will. I do believe that people who have severely autistic children are going to be compensated because that, on purpose anyway. Okay, let's have a listen.
With autism, about 25% of them are nonverbal, non-toilet trained. They have all these stereotypical behaviors: head banging, biting, toe walking, stimming. And that population is growing higher and higher. So it's becoming a larger percentage. So we're seeing much, much more, many more cases that are now linked to severe intellectual disabilities. Let me say this. There are many kids with autism who are...
There you go. So they're going to find out. There's many who are doing well as well, okay? So
doing well. They're holding down jobs. They're getting paychecks. They're living independently. But I was specifically referring to that 25%, the group that is nonverbal.
That was clear. You were not ambiguous on that. You were clear.
Right. And you know what? The larger point is that the media has bought into this industry canard, this mythology, that we're just seeing more autism because we're noticing it more. We're better at recognizing it, or there's been changing diagnostic criteria. There is study after study in the scientific literature going back decades that says that that's not true. In fact, California legislature in 2013 asked the Mind Institute at UC Davis to look exactly at that topic. They said, is it real or are we just noticing it more? And the Mind Institute came back and said, absolutely, this is a real epidemic. This is something we've never seen before. But anybody with common sense, Sean, would notice that because the autism, this epidemic is only happening in our children. It's not happening in people our age. And if it was better recognition, you'd see it in 70-year-old men. And I'll say this, I want to be very careful when I say it because I've never seen a person with full-blown autism. I've seen many people with Asperger's and, on the spectrum who are my age. I've never seen anybody with full-blown autism. That means nonverbal, non-toilet trained. It's that you don't see these people walking around a mall because they don't exist in our age. Or they're very, very rare. They do exist, but they're rare, so rare that I've never seen one. And I've been around intellectual disabilities my entire life. But in our children's age group, they're everywhere. It's 1 in 20 boys. And in California, 1 in 12.5 boys has autism, and 25% of those look like that.
Oh, dear God. Affects boys more than girls, too. Dealey, that stuck out to me, too. Perverse incentives for hospitals to not treat, that stuck out to me, from perverse incentives to administrative costs. Yep, that also stuck out to me. Perverse incentives. Maybe incentivized to, sell body parts or things like that? A lot of money? I'll give you a lot of money if you do it. I don't know. That's just one that comes to mind anyway. Malcolm Roberts said, I'm with Chad Burgess, our federal candidate for Wide Bay, discussing the renaming of Fraser Island to K'gari without community consultation. I'm just going to call it Fraser Island. I don't give a shit what they try and call it. It's time for a sunset clause on these native title claims. Yeah, those native title claims should not be anywhere at all, really. Out the window, mate. Okay. Nick here was responding to Tarak Nasheed, who said, "This is footage from White Lives Matter protest in Texas today. This is what their crowds look like when they're not running a bunch of troll bots online." Yeah, I don't know too many people who are going to go to a White Lives Matter protest. Anyway, Nick said, "It's a clear indication that a vast majority of white Americans are not the tribalist supremacists you claim us to be. We can agree that there is some truth to what's being said while not wanting to participate in protesting and stoking a race war in the country. It's really simple." Yeah, exactly. They wish they could stoke a race war. Okay. Then there's this one, Daisy May 4263. I reckon one of those wind turbines washed her up on shore. And Radio Genoa said, "What is this?" And I don't know, but if I was this lady, I'd be worried someone's going to roll me back in the ocean thinking I'm a bloody big fish or a whale. I would not do that on the beach. Actually, I wouldn't even do it the weight I am now. I'd be too scared someone would think I'm a bloody big fish and roll me back in the ocean. Are we glamorising this now? Is this what we're doing? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the first bit? Like when she's on her back. Look. Whoa. Like I'm not making fun of people who are big. I'm just saying you shouldn't. Look, I wouldn't even do this at my size, mate. I mean, you shouldn't glorify it for all intents and purposes. Okay, Turning Point UK said Christian tourist stands up to a pro-trans protest in England during Easter. Across the West, people have had enough of this nonsense. And this is how you do it. Hang on a sec. He's going to yell, so I'm going to turn it down a bit. Okay.
This is crazy. On Easter, they're doing transgender thing. This is crazy. I'm not allowing this, man. It's no good.
Wow, I'm going to follow that.
God bless. Happy Easter. God bless. You guys turn to Jesus. Don't do this. God bless. God bless. God bless. God bless. Only God. Only God. Only God. Only God. Only God. You see? This is crazy. This is crazy. Get out of the way. Okay. Well, we've told you.
Okay, to the police and the protesters. Your demons are showing. Wow. As soon as he started saying God, the sirens went off. Oh, dear. He's going to be arrested now, you know that. Oh, well, I'd do that too. Don Keith said cancelling Easter in Britain at some schools just the beginning of a trend that will grow as Islam takes over Europe. What is this?
I say this is a Christian land, and I say that those who are here to subvert our culture and our faith, we should send home. We don't want them here. We don't want them here.
At what point did celebrating Easter in Britain become controversial? This is a question that has left many Brits stunned as they witness an unexpected cultural battleground emerging in an unlikely place, the local primary school. In recent days, footage has emerged showing protests outside a British primary school where Easter celebrations were cancelled, not by public demand, but rather in the name of inclusivity. This decision has sparked intense debate about cultural identity, religious expression, and what true inclusivity actually means in modern Britain. According to a letter sent to parents by the head teacher, identified as Miss Mander, the school would not be holding its traditional Easter bonnet parade and Easter service this year. The justification provided was, in the spirit of inclusivity and respect for the diverse religious beliefs represented within our school community. With those words, long-standing Easter traditions that have been part of British school life for generations were quietly pushed aside.
Okay, so there you go. This will grow as Islam takes over unless we stop it. Go out and pray. Oh my God! But he's
Christian
right. This guy's
land,
right.
And I say that those.
This guy's right. And aren't they having like call to prayers in schools and shit now? Is that in the UK? I'm sure I saw a bunch of kids doing the call to prayer, down on their hands and knees. Yeah, well, stop importing them, mate. You won't have this problem. Lisa Rosen said, once again, the media and UN ignore the genocide of Christians in Africa because they can't portray the Muslims as victims and use it to push their globalist agenda of open borders and mass Islamic immigration. And I agree. That's from Isabella Maria De Luca. Oh, wow. But it's true. Don't you worry about that. Said, do people understand what unrealised capital gains means? We pay enough tax. This is just robbery. Because these people want to bring in unrealised capital gains. That means that even though you bought your house for $30,000 in the 70s, and it might be worth $2 or $3 million now, you have to pay tax on that. That's unrealised capital gains, people. Do you understand? So it benefits them in more ways than one to keep the house prices up because they can tax you on it. Yes, exactly. Thieving bastards. Bastards Incorporated. Okay, Grifty said, Canadian Christian tells Muslims the truth and they don't want to see more of this. I want to see more of this. Ready?
Find Jesus Christ.
Learn about Islam. We know who the real Jesus
This
Christ
is Canada. Find about Jesus Christ.
You don't even know Jesus Christ.
I don't care about your liberal ways. This is Canada. Jesus Christ is the one Lord and God. This is Canada.
You don't even know Jesus Christ and you're talking.
Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior. Find Jesus Christ. Balaturato. Look what I caused.
You want to know who would hate what you're doing right now? Jesus Christ.
Oh, is that what you liberals would say? LGBT lovers? Worshippers?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Jesus Christ is the one true Lord. Find Jesus Christ.
Good on this man. Right in the middle of their bloody... He made them do, like, he made them start yelling their bloody prayer or whatever. Okay, Radio Genoa said Mohammed from Gaza arrested for the 60th time for public order issues in Berlin. Why is he still in Europe? He's been arrested 60 times. When do you start the deportation process, mate? What is wrong with you people? My God, in Berlin, Germany. Catholic quote said France is returning to Christ. I want to see this. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. The more that this happens in our cities, that people, France is returning to Christ, the government has lost control. Because the more you see this in cities, the more you know the government has lost control. Okay, I want to see this huge. Jen said it will never, ever get old. I'll never get tired of how Trump handles reporters. Let's have a look at some of the funny things he's said to people. Hang on a sec, just let me adjust the volume again because they're all over the place. Some volumes are high, some are low.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus?
Because it comes from China.
Racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China.
Mr. President, can you just respond to Kamala Harris's campaign attacking you for being in this town because they say there were white supremacists?
Who was here in 2021? Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
You have very low unemployment rate in the U.S. and we have a very high unemployment rate in France. How come? What the rest of people?
Well, maybe we have a better president than you do.
Your research says that there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, it was just a follow-up of what I just asked you, sir.
You ready? We have the president of Finland. Ask him a question.
I have one for him. I just wanted to follow up on the one that I asked.
Did you hear
what
me?
Did you want?
Did you hear me?
Yes,
Ask him a question.
I will, but
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude. Okay, question? Yeah, go ahead. Sure. She's shocked that I picked her.
Look.
Like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking.
That's okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
Do you want him to rein in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
Go Trump. Taking on the media. Oh, and this. Oh, my goodness. Trump girl on fire said this was great. I busted a gut. Elizabeth Warren complaining about Social Security again. Let's have a listen. This guy is hilarious.
The richest man in the world is going after people's retirement.
No, he's not, you fossil. He's trying to stop you and your cohorts from bankrupting our country.
Money they've earned over a lifetime of hard work. Yep, that's right.
Nope, that's wrong, Crypt Keeper. They're trying to stop you from spending money that belongs to the American people.
Elon Musk calls Social Security, quote, the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Listen, Captain Krusty, they're trying to stop you and the rest of the Democrats from having checks sent out to people who are 105, 110, 115 years old. Where's that money going? It's being funneled back into the pockets of you dinosaurs. So no, they're trying to save this country. They're not trying to bankrupt it like you and the rest of the Democrats.
Okay, the censorship's going to hit me hard. I'm going to get a few copyrights on this one. Lisa said, with all these Labor Party politicians suddenly getting on the Easter bandwagon out of the blue for votes, it seems a good time to check in on their actual beliefs. Here's the long list of MPs who rejected the Bible when they were sworn in 2022 here in Australia. Anthony Albanese, Richard Marles, they did not put their hand on the Bible, okay? Anthony Albanese, Richard Marles, Katie Gallagher, Chris Bowen, Jason Clare, Mark Butler, Catherine King, Linda Burney, Tanya Plibersek, Bill Shorten, Anika Wells, and Ali, God knows. Patrick Gorman, Murray Watt, Pat Conroy, Andrew Giles, Brendan O'Connor, Christy McBain, Tim Ayers and Carol Brown. This tells you all you need to know, and it does. If they cannot put their hand on the Bible, they are then willing to lie to you without any problem at all. Okay? I believe at least the people who put their hand on the Bible and lie are really bad, but like this is just telling you straight out. What are you all Muslims or something, or what are you? Derek Evans said breaking Democrat Party members are angry with Joe Biden and do not want to see him in public eye any longer, according to Jill Biden's former communications director. Interesting. Mario Norfall said the AI said she was safe. Now she's dead. Lena walked into a police station in Spain, scared for her life. Her ex had threatened her, raised his hand to hit her. She begged for protection, but police didn't decide her fate. An algorithm did. Oh, no. Oh, we're up shit creek if this happens. The system Viogen asked 35 questions and calculated her risk level. It labelled her as medium risk, not urgent, not a priority. Her request for a restraining order was denied. She tried to change her locks. It wasn't enough. 3 weeks later, her home was on fire. Her children ran out. Her ex escaped. Lena never made it out. Now a growing chorus is asking, what happens when life or death decisions are left to a machine? That should never happen. Nothing considering life and death should ever be up to a machine. That is just insane. Why? Because they want people murdered. Yeah, I don't know. Roxanne Fernando said the same people arguing for taking the vacant property of others via squatting are the same people that argue against the colonisation of Australia and call it stolen land. Using their own logic, the major landmass of Australia was 99.99999% vacant, unused land. So it's completely appropriate the British made use of it to house people, give them shelter and allow them to exploit resources for a brighter future. Yep, because we've got people squatting here in Australia who think they own the land. Rukshan Fernando said, I heard it was unused for anywhere between 50,000 to 250,000 years, depending on who you ask. And T. Evans said, that's your little argument for our ruling government. At least you used the word exploit. Highly apparent you've quickly forgotten our fight for liberty and freedom over the past 5 years when our ruling leaders enforced lockdowns and worse. The king owns our country land. Rukshan Fernando responded, that it's not my argument as you have put it. I'm just applying a bit of the same logic of the far left. Yep. No, I agree with Rukshan Fernando. They do. The people, look. Where was I up to? Here. The people who are squatting and believe they own land, then it's stolen land, okay? If they're going to label everyone else and we have to rename Fraser Island to Kagiri, or whatever the fuck it is, right? Then you're on stolen land, mate. Okay, Senator Babette. Okay. Everyone's going at trumpets of patriots, right now. Alexandra Marshall said, gosh, I think Clive Palmer's trumpet of patriots might have destroyed themselves by preferencing Labor, the Greens and Teals over Conservative parties. Like, yikes, guys, what the fuck were you thinking? What do you make of this decision? Right. Can I just say something? This is very strategic. They're trying to kick Peter Dutton out of his spot by preferencing a Labor, they're just advising, go vote for this person, okay? This is strategic. Not everybody in Labor is bad and not everyone in the Liberal Party is bad. The leaders are, and a lot of their little lackeys are. But listen to this. Senator Babette. The only way change happens in Australia is if we stop rewarding the MPs and parties who consistently sell us out. The Trumpet of Patriots are aiming to dismantle the duopoly via their policy platform and preference suggestions. They're just suggestions, okay? Make no mistake, there's no difference between Liberal and Labor on most things. On all the key issues, they are identical. For example, the seat of Dixon is held by Mr Dutton on a margin of less than 2%. It's Queensland's most marginal seat. Under Mr Dutton, the Liberal Party vote has fallen to its lowest point since the Menzies era of 1944. Mr Dutton does not deserve to lead the LNP, nor does he deserve to remain in Parliament. So in this seat, we've suggested that Liberal and Labor should both be put last and second last. Unseating Mr Dutton and removing him from Parliament will be a win for true Liberal values and Australia's future. Sorry, it was a Green he put forward. Same applies. Not all Greens are bad, not all Liberals are bad, and not all Labor are bad, okay? Not every single person. What they're asking, I believe, is to put a Green in Dutton's seat, because that'll kick him out and he won't be leader anymore. This is very strategic. And I don't think a lot of Australians understand this. Okay. Unseating Mr Dutton and removing him from Parliament will be a win for the true Liberal values and Australia's future. Another example is the seat of Griffith. It's held by Greens MP Max Chandler-Mather. The top suggestion, or Trumpet of Patriots, suggestion in Griffith is a deliberate decision to help remove this Greens MP from office. Based on the data, the only choice for Griffith is either Labor or the Greens. So they're going to preference the Labor one, okay, in this one? The Trumpet of Patriots believes that removing this Greens MP is a priority, a strategic decision. Oh, so that's what, sorry. They are preferencing a Labor to unseat the Green, and in Dutton's seat, they are preferencing either a Green or Labor to unseat Dutton because he won't be leader of the Liberal Party anymore. This is so strategic, guys. You've got to understand. Okay. The top suggestion in Griffith is a deliberate decision to help remove the Greens MP. The Trumpet of Patriots believes that removing this Greens MP is a priority, a strategic decision None of the other minor parties will win this seat, so they need to do one of these, okay? They won't even come close. So Trumpet of Patriots recommends placing Labor above the Greens. More of the same won't cut it. Neither Labor nor Liberals must be allowed to continue. It's time to end the duopoly and really shake things up. We must take bold steps to restore true representative government. This will help to shatter the illusion of the two-party system. The next election in 2028 will look very different. We can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. No, that's the very definition of insanity. But I hope you Australians understand what's happening here. I'll share that on Twitter when I'm done and write a post for it. Senator Babette's response to it. Because everything that's happening is very strategic right now. And I agree with Senator Babette. I don't like the Greens. I don't like Liberal or Labor. But there are some good people in those parties. I've listened to them on YouTube. And the only thing, like Dutton's only just holding onto his seat by 2 points or something. He's not even a popular candidate for leader of the Liberal Party. So there you go. The Vigilant Fox said the unvaccinated are frequently asked, how did you know the COVID procedures might be dangerous? Oops, maybe not here. Oh, this is Tucker Carlson saying it. The answer is simple, we didn't. However, we quickly figured out the people pushing them were liars. Watch Tucker Carlson explain this brilliantly. The behaviour of the people selling me that thing was so transparently dishonest. I didn't know what it would do, or if it would or wouldn't work, which it didn't, but of course. But I didn't know that would cause harm, which it did. But I did know that the people selling it were liars. Like I knew that instantly. And I know some of them, but I could just tell by their behaviour that they're lying. And I was like, I don't know what this is. No one in my family is getting this, period. Like I figured that out in the first day. I felt something was wrong so strongly and I just obeyed my instincts. And I think that works. Guys, I just got to check something here. Sorry, guys. Yep, sorry, just got to check that there's no messages or anything, so. Okay, so there's that. Nathan Livingston, Milk Bar TV. It's YouTube just telling me that all these people are going live. Bombshell document kept secret until now reveals during COVID, Victoria's public health commander was not consulted before then Victoria Premier Dan Andrews imposed a curfew that made it illegal for Victorians to leave their homes between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. Victoria's public health commander, Finn Romanes, in an email to then Victoria Chief Health Officer Brett Sutton wrote, I have not seen any specific written assessment of the requirement for a curfew. Dan Andrews later said about the curfew, I can't necessarily pinpoint for you the exact moment that it was suggested that we put a curfew on, because no one suggested it, they just went and did it. Same as shooting people with rubber bullets. Yeah, that's really going to protect you against COVID. Elon Musk said, Alec Leigh said Bill Clinton won $12.3 million deportations, 0 injunctions. George W. Bush, 10.3 million deportations with 0 injunctions. Barack Obama, 5.3 million deportations with 0 injunctions. And Donald Trump has made 100,000 deportations with 30 injunctions, yet all these people are screaming. Yeah, at Donald Trump for deporting people. Makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, Ariel, take us all with a grain of salt. This is definitely pointing to a drop, 992. The significance of this is enormous. The shot heard around the world. D-Source said, did Trump just quietly signal the beginning of an American revolution? The White House said, now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim April 19th, 2025, as a day in commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord and the beginning of the American Revolutionary War. Funny, because that was also mentioned over here as well. See, there's a lot of things that are coming out that have already been mentioned years ago over here. Luckily, I followed it at the time. Okay, Laura Loomis said exclusive. White House vetting crisis continues as Trump-appointed U.S. Treasury Secretary invites pro-impeachment Trump hater to collaborate with him at the Treasury Department. Scott Bessent invites pro-impeachment and pro-censorship Trump hater to collaborate with him at the U.S. Treasury. Trump-appointed U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he invited rabid Trump hater John Hope Bryant to work with him at the U.S. Treasury, despite John Hope Bryant's public praise of former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey for banning President Trump's X account on January the 8th, 2021 after J6. Bessent called John Hope Bryant his longtime friend in the X post below on 4/3/25. Here's the evidence that John Hope Bryant celebrated the deplatforming of President Trump and called for real Donald Trump to be impeached 2 days after J6. John Hope Bryant also called on Trump to resign after J6, but he's since been brought into the Trump admin by his good friend Scott Bessent. I'm going to personally tell President Trump and personally show him these receipts. This is another egregious Trump admin vetting failure that puts President Trump at risk. Shame on Senator Scott Bessent. There might be something strategic about this too. Either exposing them, or have they changed sides? I don't know. Probably exposure. John Hope Bryant said, finally, common sense reigns. Thank you, Jack, and the team at Twitter, including Ned Segal and leadership, for simply doing the right thing, holding Mr. Trump to the same standard as all else. A compromise to when he got deleted from Twitter. A compromise to a necessary impeachment might be 1, Mr. Trump agrees to resign on his own, or 2, a complete repudiation by RS, including resignation of his White House team, all senior officials. White House counsel consider resigning, source says. And then Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said financial literacy. I'm not even friggin' vocally literate. Financial literacy is a necessity, not a luxury. To kick off Financial Literacy Month, I had a great meeting with my longtime friend, John Hope Bryant, who is collaborating with us at US Treasury on the Financial Literacy for All, FL4A initiative. We look forward to working together to help deliver quality financial tools and knowledge to empower all Americans. I very much hope you do. We'll see what happens there. Okay, Svetlana Lokhova said Mike Davis, Mr. DDMIA, explained in 2022 why the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago. They could not afford for the Crossfire Hurricane documents to come out. Listen to this.
Your rise to national prominence started on the afternoon of this raid. You called it then. Now that you've seen these documents, your thoughts?
There's no question that President Biden orchestrated this raid on President Trump to go get those declassified Crossfire Hurricane presidential records that are so damning to Obama, to Biden, to Hillary, to the AG, to the FBI director, James Comey, to the CIA, to the DNI. They made up the Russian collusion hoax in 2016 because Hillary Clinton had her illegal home server as Secretary of State that not only had our nation's most classified secrets, it had the evidence of the Clinton Foundation's pay-for-play foreign bribery schemes when Hillary was the Secretary of State. And the Russians and the Chinese almost certainly hacked this server, and the Obama regime and the Hillary campaign were worried this hacked material was going to come out on this bribery and foreign corruption from the Clinton Foundation. So they said it was they made up the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, the Russian collusion hoax, so they can say when this came out that this was a dirty campaign trick from the Trump campaign. And you say, that sounds crazy. How could you possibly say that, Mike? Well, they did the same thing in 2020 with Hunter Biden's laptop from hell with the Biden family corruption. They had the CIA work with the 51 former intel officials to say it had all the hallmarks of a Russian disinformation campaign. They deplatformed the New York Post, America's oldest newspaper. Trump declassified the Crossfire Hurricane records via presidential memo the day before he left office. The FBI, the intel agency, said you can't release these public.
Mike, what does Jim Jordan and Mike Johnson need? You should start impeachment proceedings just on that. They authorized deadly force. They had a medic. They had a plan to triage the wounded. They had a trauma center 18 miles away and a map. This was an attempted assassination attempt on Donald John Trump or people associated with him. They wanted a gunfight. They brought they had use of deadly force authorized by the director of the FBI and Merrick Garland. They brought a medic, a combat medic. They had a triage plan for the injured, and they had a trauma center. What more do we need? Good God in heaven, what more? President Trump just truthed it out when he walks out the courtroom. What more do we need to shut this down? What is it going to take? Are we going to send a sharply worded letter, Mike Davis? Is that what? Look at what the evidence is. The judge has known this. She's pleading for help. That's what she's got this trial of Jack Smith on the 27th, 28th, and 29th of June. Sir, how can we, if we tolerate this, we're tolerating the end of this republic, sir.
Yeah, the fact that President Biden had his librarians send in assassins to go get these Crossfire Hurricane records, it shows you how damaging these are to Biden, to Obama, to Hillary, to the deep state. If these get out, it is going to destroy these the intel community and the law enforcement agencies, because they ran the biggest scandal ever with Crossfire Hurricane. They spied on a presidential candidate. They spied on the president of the United States. They lied to the FISA court. They lied to Congress. They tried to hobble the Trump presidency, and now they're trying to throw him in prison for the rest of his life based upon these 4 bogus indictments in 4 different jurisdictions. They want Trump to die in prison. They're trying to gag him because they know that if he gets back into the White House and releases these Crossfire Hurricane records, it's game over for Obama, Biden, Hillary, the FBI, the CIA, the broader law enforcement and intel community. This is the biggest scandal in American history, and that's why that is why President Trump is facing this unprecedented lawfare. This is why they sent in deadly force to go get these records.
Okay, and that was also mentioned here, because this was from 2022, okay? So he just explained it. It was an assassination attempt on President Trump. They want him gone by any means possible. Because if it comes out, that's what I mean. The information, they're so scared of us knowing, of the public knowing, that this information's coming out. It's freaking them out. Okay, Derek Evans said, breaking, transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney expresses interest in leaving the United States. I'll swap. You leave, I'll go. Can I do that? Oh, dear. Oh, that's funny. Elon Musk said if propaganda was illegal, she'd be in trouble. What's this? Defiant Els says, Hillary thinks if you're promoting propaganda, you should be criminally charged. Who decides what's propaganda and what's not? Look, if you're going to be charged for propaganda, this is one of the biggest ones. Seriously. Biggest propaganda artist.
And boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence, because and boosting Trump back in...
Okay, then how about we arrest Obama for changing the Smith-Mundt Act in 2011-2012 to allow propaganda to be used on American citizens? And how about you, Hillary? Oh, you're not innocent, mate. I'm sure you're guilty as hell. So, yep, that one. If propaganda was illegal, she'd be in big trouble. Exactly. The biggest purveyor of propaganda. Okay, Maxime Bernier. I already read that. Okay, that's it for today. So I'll go and read your comments, guys. As far back as I can go. Right back to the beginning, looks like. Deb said, welcome to our funny and loving chat. And everyone's saying hello to everyone. And Sherry's in there, Carl's in there. J1, Lucette, Deb, Kai, out to lunch. Deb said, I always feel happy hearing the intro song. And Raven Lilith, how you going? Our beautiful little Raven. Oh, God love you. Deb said, I'm going to need to put my skates on to get my Irish passport. I did it online, Deb. I thought, oh no, because I tried to get my passport, right? But you need a birth certificate. But if you've got your birth certificate, I think you can do it online. Because I've just applied for my birth certificate and then I'm going to go for my passport. Kai said, sorry for not jumping in a lot, little fidgety. Oh, it's okay, Kai, God love you. Deb said, yes, 100% positive is where you grow and heal. You can choose to be positive. You choose it. You can either choose to wallow in negativity and sadness or whatever if you're depressed or whatever, or you can try and change your own channel in your brain. Okay, it's like watching a scary movie on TV and then switching it over to a comedy. You've got to kind of look at life like a bit of a comedy, really. Okay? Find the lessons in the bad shit that happens to you. Instead of being a victim, find those lessons and learn them. Why? Why did it happen? What did I do wrong to let that happen? That's how I go about things. And then, look at it in a positive way that you've learnt a lesson. You're not a victim. You've learnt it. You move on. Move forward. How you going, George? Kai said, can barely hear her. Well, my volume is showing up pretty good on the app. Sorry. Clear my throat there. Maybe stick some headphones in, Kai. I don't know if that'll work. Okay, Deb said, so they're taking tours in Ukraine, apparently. Deb said, who's Megan? J1 said, Ganga Jang. Lucette said, Meghan Markle claims she's pregnant again. BS. No, it's probably a fake bump. Deb said she's not all there in the head. I don't think she is either. Either her or the people telling her she should do this and that. Yeah, they got something wrong there. Deb said, oh, my God, those long arms. Lucette said, narcissistic personality disorder. Raven said, g'day, J1. Lucette said, hi to everyone who said hello to me. It's hard, isn't it, when everyone starts saying hello to you, like, I can't type everyone's name. Quick, quick, quick. Who was the last one? Where was the I do it all the time. Okay. Deb said, on steroids, has she, Lucette? Raven said, hi, George. Deb said, I enjoy the real people showing her up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, George, Meghan Markle's a bad actress. As simple as that. Lucette said, Meghan Markle, Amber Heard, and Heather Mills McCartney all have narcissistic personality disorder. That does not surprise me at all. It really doesn't. Oh, this bloody microphone, man. Seriously. It's just dropping on me. I've got to go and tighten the other end up. And is Timmy around? I don't know if Timmy is going to join us today or not. If not, what I will do is go over and to Rumble after this and still do the stream and see if he joins us. And if not, that's fine, because I realised it's Easter Sunday. Some people might be busy. They might be at family dues or church or whatever. So we'll see what happens. Okay, where was I up to? J1 said, Lucette, it's a big club. Deb said it was a real bully to its guests. My stomach's growling. I'm sorry if you can hear that. Lucette said, Chris Steele, what a scumbag. Exactly. J1 said Mother Teresa and Fauci, uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It is, really. George said Amazing Grace is a beautiful song. It is, isn't it? I just destroyed it, though, because my voice is a bit croaky today. J1 said sung that a few times. D. Lee jumped in. How you going, D. Lee? Kai said, yeah, the clips are twice as loud as Hev, are they? Okay, so some of them are louder, so I'm trying to keep the volume at the kind of same level. Okay, as I can see. I'll show you what I can see. Okay, this is what I can see, right? And do you see this? This is my microphone, which is showing pretty middle of the yellow. And then when the audio comes on, I try and make sure this is down here somewhere, so it's actually less than me. So I don't know what is happening there, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm so sorry, Kai. Lucette said, I saw that footage, it's fake. I'll wait and see what happens. Dealey's saying hello to everyone. Lucette said, yes, Hev. Yeah, that footage, yeah, of Starmer and the guy. J1 said, Starmer the charmer, lols. Yeah, I don't know how he's charming anyone. Raven said, I miss my violin and cello. Oh, God love you. George said, I've not seen that video, Lucette. Lucette said, the one I saw was obviously staged and didn't look much like those two. Okay. Well, whether or not there's a video out there, I didn't know that, that someone's trying to put a video out and might not be them. But we'll see what happens with it. J1 says, Starmer's wife knows what's coming, no doubt. Can't tell me she's not part of the club. She probably is. Just like Bill Gates' missus. Lucette says, Starmer and Lord Ali might be lovers, but the footage I've seen was obviously staged and not them. There you go. I didn't know about footage, so, yeah. George said, what man allows another man to buy his wife's clothes? Deb said, this guy is in an exclusive club. Kai said, I'm going to go, guys. I'm too twitchy to really type, and the background noise from just rumours drowning Hev almost completely out. Much love, guys. Many blessings. You too, Kai. God love you. Real Housewives of Margaritaville. How you going? Hello, Hev. Happy Easter. Yeah, J1, 17, this here, said watch the wives. Okay? That site. Lucette said, see you next time, Kai. Everyone's saying bye, Kai. And hello, Real Housewives. Yeah, Dealey, perverse incentives. I'd like to know what it is. Sherry said beach whale. Deb said, yes, it looks like a dugong. Yeah, I'd be worried someone would roll me back in the ocean at my size even, man. Come on. Raven Lilith Moon said, I wouldn't do that, and I'm tiny. I hate sand and kind of look loony. Yeah, yep, me too, Luna. Sherry said, whale. Oh, beach whale, yes. Deb said, push it back. I don't know how people are trying to normalise that shit, like make it glamorous or anything. It's not. And I'm even self-conscious at my size, and I'm not that overweight. Like, I just need to lose a few kilo. J1 said, I'm busy eating breakfast. Dealey said, Deb, push it back. Push it back. Because Deb said, push it back in the water. George said, what a load of crap, woke crap. Lucette said, trans power, oh my God. Deb said, Transformers, more than meets the eye. George said, Charlie Boy's turned his back on Christianity. Yeah, exactly. Deb said, they don't understand inclusivity means wipe you out. Exactly. Yeah, Lucette said, Deb, that's true. Deb said, sorry, England, not English flag allowed. Wow. J1 said, thieving bastard. So you can't type an English flag out, Deb. Pat said, hi, all you lovely people. How you going, Pat? I'm waving, even though you can't see me. Lucette said, Deb makes me want to go out and buy an English flag. Yeah. Deb said, oh, my God, I'm trying to keep emotions under control. Albo's such a challenge. He is. Stu said, Jesus wants a private and personal relationship with you as you follow him. Not have you yelling out, God this, Jesus that, every two words. By the way, hello, everyone, and belated Happy Easter. No, but to the trans community and Muslims, I understand why they're doing it. Deb said, get clothes with a flag on it. J1 said, King of Kings. Deb said, I was watching where the British police said the English flag is being racist. Oh, my God. They're full of shit. Deb said, hello, our beautiful Pat. George said, the British police are woke clowns. Yes, they are. Deb said, go Trump. Dealey said, yep, that never gets old. Hey, Rod, how you going? Deb said, that golden smile. Lucette said, Deb, ever since that big inquiry about the Stephen Lawrence murder labelled UK judiciary as institutionally racist, the police are bending over backwards not to appear racist in any way. Yeah, that's going to be their downfall. Deb said she's scared. Deb said, what are they really hiding? Pat said they're Nazis. And Rod said, Deb, a lot. George said, you'll own nothing and be happy. Deb said, time to become a republic. Hey, Jules, how you going? Good to see ya. Everyone's saying hello to Jules. George said the royal family should be abolished. Lucette said, Deb, I want the real royal, because you know the one that was in there. I don't think that they're the real royal family. I really don't. Lucette said, Deb, I'd love for the UK to become a republic, but I can't see it happening even though the king is not popular. And Jules said, happy Easter, everyone. Randy, how you going? Good to see ya. Stu, vote no to Trump and Patriots. What a joke with a name like that and have Clive Palmer. Don't do it, folks. Stu, it's being strategic, though. And I remember Clive Palmer back in 2019 buying hydroxychloroquine for everyone because, you know, it was COVID, right? And then the government made him burn it. Pat said, no confidence or no vote. Stop voting, people. George said, I've not voted in many years. Stu said, that's right. Sign your name off and walk out and hand out pens. But if you do that, if you just sign your name off, oh, no, yeah, if you fill in one, I know, they will, if you fill one in silly, it just goes to the major parties. No, I know, Stu, but I believe this is like Trump, like what happened with Trump. If you still believe the AEC is legitimate, there's no hope because it's going to be exposed, Stu. That's why you should vote. It's going to be exposed. Watch what happens. Deb said, will your not vote go to the current government if you don't put something on the ballot? That's what I think, Deb. J1 said, haven't been registered to vote for 37 years. I'm not registered either. Never been fined. Stu said, who knows, Deb? They probably just dumped the independent votes in the bin anyways. Deb said, I don't trust Palmer. Well, I got more faith in him than I do for the Labor and Liberal parties. Rod said, just got internet back after a slight storm. Shit. Sorry, friends. No worries, Rod. J1 said, they can't find me because I'm not registered. Jules said, Rod, good to have you back. Snow, oh my gosh. Stu said, never paid a fine. Yeah, we get fined over here if you don't vote. Raven said, back now, I had to do morning tea for my mini humans. Oh, God, love you. Pat said, I just don't enroll. Don't let your kids enroll. Dealey said, I bet those girls are getting big, Raven. Stu said, I hadn't enrolled till I was 28 and it was a requirement to do so in the military. I was happy not voting, so no one could blame me for what these pricks do. Deb said, how beautiful, Raven. Much love to you and your mini humans. J1 says, Stu, yep, I don't want to be part of the fraud either. Deb said, so funny it all leads back to the Dems. Okay, I want your advice on something, right? If Timmy doesn't jump on, should I wait for him to do the Rumble? Because it's all medical. If I should wait for Timmy to do the Rumble video, put one in the comments, please. Because I kind of think I should, because it's better having his advice as well to back things up or to correct things, you know. J1 says, Stu, yeah, I don't want to be part of the fraud either. Deb said, so funny it all leads back to the Dems. Pat's waving again. Rod said, Deb, I'm surprised that... Oh, God love you.
Timar28 tipped $10. Hello Hev, and everyone. I'm afraid I won't be able to join the live today. My voice is completely gone.
That's okay, Timmy. God love you. Thank you so much. You're a legend, mate. Seriously. You won't... Okay. Put a 1 in the comments if you think I should wait for Timmy, which I think I should, actually. I'm starting to just think I should now. I'll wait until Timmy gets better, and we'll do the Rumble video then. So this will be the only live stream today then, okay? Because I would rather have Timmy's, like, input into all the medical shit that I read. So, God love you, Timmy. I hope you get better soon, man. Seriously. God love you. Yeah, the ones have it, okay? We've only got 2 ones in the chat, but the ones have it. Oh, God love ya. I'll wait. Even if we have to wait till next weekend, that's fine, but I'll keep in touch with you and make sure you're doing all right, hopefully. Okay. Rodar said, yep, it does lead back to the Dems. Let control of their party to the extreme few. They did, yes. J1 said, Rod, they didn't want to end up on Hillary's list. Yeah. Arkansas-sided. Or Clinton-sided, one of the two. Jules said, I have goosebumps. Stu said, not one of the Rennick's or Roberts' questions taken on notice in Senate has been followed up. What a joke. We're being suckered by would-be patriots. No, hang on, Stu. Stu, it's all strategic, mate. It has to be, like, all this is being exposed to the public, right? That these people don't answer the freaking question. That they say, we're going to take it on notice. We'll answer that next time. And they never do, right? Just hang in there. It's all exposure. I guarantee. The Australian people are some of the most asleep people in the world. They have to be woken up, and it's happening, but slowly. George said, I hope he does not come to the UK. Stu said, Clive Palmer being the worst. He just took out Babette's good work. Funny that. Lucette said, I hope Dylan Mulvaney doesn't come to the UK. Rod said, J1, power and control, Hillary has a list. Yep. Deb said, in God's words, all that was done in darkness will be brought to light. It will, and that's what I think is happening right now, especially with what we see. Look, it doesn't matter if you're in the US, the UK, Australia, New Zealand. It's all exposure. Canada too. Like, this is all exposure for the people who are still asleep to wake up. Where was I up to? It just jumped on me. Hey, Liz, how you going? Happy Resurrection Day. And Stuart, how you going? Good to see you guys. Okay, I'm here somewhere. Raven said that they are Dealey, and then there's the other 4 of my little ones. Oh, God love you. Jules said, Deb, amen. Lucette said, George, great minds think alike, lol. Dealey said, wow, Hillary resembles Soros, doesn't she? What? Deb said, get ready to suck it up, Hillary. Yep. Rod said, still here, brother. Kai? I think he left, actually. I think he was having a bit, like it was too much for him. Dealey said, Raven, yes, I do remember you have a full house. Yeah, God love you. Deb said, well, almost the beginning, so I'm 4th, no medal. Raven said, definitely always wanted a big family. Oh, good on you, Raven. God love you. Stu said, resurrection would be a hard word for Albo to say, not to mention the Chinese too. Yep, J1 said, thumbs up, people, please. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It all helps. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It all helps me out. 3rd time around, 4th time around the bend. I don't even know how many channels I've left one sitting. So this is a 4th channel. Anyway, let's not worry about that. Stu said, g'day, George and J1. Deb said, yes, Meghan is pregnant again because the real Princess Kate might be pregnant. Oh, there you go. Deb said, so I was waiting for Meghan to say. And Rod said, Timmy. And Pat said, they're all into bred vamps. Dealey said, Deb, wow, I hadn't heard about Meghan and Kate. Deb said, it could be a trap to get Meg to be called out. Yeah, she's getting exposed as well. Stu said, I had a cheeky little Chinese whippersnapper walk past my army car and give it the bird. Not his fault, as he was only 5 years old. Says a lot about his family, poor little bugger. I agree, Stu. That's terrible. J1 said, Kate has a harp on family crest. In the system, it's connected to the harlots. Ooh. Deb said, sad, Stu. Dealey said, I think Kai isn't feeling well today. Keep him in our prayers. Yeah, prayers for Timmy and Kai. Timmy to regain his voice and Kai just all in general. God love him. Deb said, yes, their arms crest tells all symbolism will be their downfall. Yes. Stu said, some guys like bigger women, each to their own. Not me, I'm done with a lot of them. Stu, I don't blame you. Rod R said, been talking with Kai a while. Oh, God, love you. Lucette said, if you got to not today, Satan, you'll see the footage. Where? On what, Lucette? Deb said, no, they're not real royal. I don't believe they are. I think they stole it. That's what I think. And I think probably Trump's closer to the real line than they are. I'm telling you. That's why I think he's going to the royal bloody... Oh, there's so much going on. But hey, just personally, this is just my personal thought, right? I have not seen this anywhere else, but I think Trump has more right to royalty than what the royals currently do. Okay, just saying that, just throwing it out there. We'll see. Okay, Lucette said, if you got... yep, I read that. Dealey said, I think the storm has hit my area, Rod. Oh, Dealey, stay safe. Lucette said, during the English Civil War, the king, and Rod as well, during the English Civil War, the king was executed and England was a republic. A few years later, they brought back the monarchy. Ooh, interesting, Lucette. Deb said, this government counts on you not knowing how to vote. Yeah, exactly. Yep, Raven said one, yep. Rod said, Dealey, in mid-Missouri here. Oh, wow. Pat said, I think we need to investigate Port Arthur massacre witnesses and John Howard. Hey, guys, if you're interested in information about Port Arthur, please, please, please. Where am I? What's his name? I've subscribed to heaps of people lately, man. Is it the WASP Files or WASP Files? Oh, I went too far then. The WASP Files, okay? This guy has Port Arthur survivor speaks, a discussion with Sam Newman on the Port Arthur massacre. Was Martin Bryant's $29 million inheritance the motive to confiscate his $29 million inheritance? Breadcrumbs, the telling trail of gunman's intent. Port Arthur massacre survivor calls for a coronial inquest ignored. Port Arthur survival tells his story for the first time. Martin Bryant at Risdon Prison, a discussion of his mental state. Martin Bryant, it is all about it. Okay, Port Arthur. I'm not sure, probably Port Arthur. Sounds like I'm trying to speak another language here. Port Arthur. Okay, if you want, please, what I'll do is, hang on, where are we? I'm going to put this in the comments, guys. If you want to know why Australians had their guns taken off them, please watch this. Okay. Good on you, Pat, for reminding me about that. Deb said time to do it again, Lucette. Stu said Clive Palmer had a mining company. Trust him still. He even ripped off his workers. Sheesh. Well, I trust him more than I trust the Greens or Liberal or Labor. Because not every rich person's are evil either. See, that's the thing. We kind of lump people like, okay, like the Jewish, right? A lot of people go, I hate Jews, I hate Jews. It's not all of them. Chinese, I hate Chinese. Well, it's not all of them. I hate Middle East, like Muslims, not all of them. There's good and bad in everything, and that includes the rich people and the politicians. I'll wait and see, Stu, anyway. Deb said yes, Pat. George said Tim Air. Deb said yes, please have Tim Air. Yes. I will wait. I won't do the Rumble Live today. I will wait until Tim Air's better, and we'll organise it for whenever he's better. How's that sound? One said healing comes with worship. The body is the temple, the Holy Spirit. Yes. I've been praying for days, mate. Seriously. And watching the, I'm stuck on YouTube Shorts right now, right? And there's a lot about like Jesus and God and so I've been like watching a lot. What's this? Topher Phil, why they don't want to fix housing affordability 53 minutes ago. It's got to do with housing. I've been watching a lot of this still. Oh, and these guys. Ooh. And a funny guy, a funny weightlifting guy. Where is he? Oh, my God, is this Anatoly? Yeah, this is him. This guy. He's hilarious. He goes in as a cleaner of gyms, right? And there's all these power lifters, and they're huge, right? Muscles are huge. He's got like overalls on, right? And he goes into the gym, and they're all lifting all these really big weights, and they look at him because he doesn't look big in the overalls. And he goes, like in a funny language, he goes, in an accent, he goes, can I try, And they're all laughing at him until he lifts the bloody weights. But he asks them, he says, how long to take to get to your strength to lift this, And the guys all go, like 3 years, mate, to lift this much weight. Anyway, he walks over and picks it up. Half of them walk up to him and feel his muscle, like, because you can't see anyway he's built through his overalls. He just looks like a skinny little guy. And it's funny as, man. His name is Anatoly Powerman. Anatoly Pranks. And he's hilarious. You've got to watch it, mate. Even his mop weighs 35 kilos. Sorry, I've got dyslexia with money or something at the moment. With numbers, not money. Jesus Christ, I can't even talk properly today. It's probably a good idea I'm not going to go live on Rumble after this. But yeah, it's hilarious. He's got a 35-kilogram mop. And he says to the guy, like he's got his janitor outfit on, right? And he goes to the big guys. He goes, here, hold my mop for me while I lift, I'll try, And they're all laughing at him. And they grab the mop and it drops, like you can hear it go clank on the ground. And they're all going, but your mop's so heavy, mate. Like, how do you mop? It's hilarious. You've got to look up the Anatoly Powerman. See, I look at all this because I can't just look at politics constantly. I have to have comic relief. This guy's my comic relief. I admire these ones. Like, these ones are just traditional men in traditional garb, and even in costumes. Like, they put them in, like, warrior costumes and things. It's bloody fantastic. But that's my break from, like, looking at politics all the time. Okay. Everyone's shouting, Timmy out, yeah. D-Lee said, I'm about 20 minutes east of St. Louis in Illinois, batten down the hatches. It's rolling and rumbling in. Yep, stay safe out there, guys. Stu said, when our doctor's ill, we're in trouble. Oh, God, love him. He'll be right as rain in no time at all, I'm sure. Rod said, D-Lee, about right. Deb said, we love our Tim Air. Much love to our doctor. Okay. Oaks get better soon? You hope he gets better soon? Deb said, they do deal with lots of sick people, mental and physical. Now, it's no wonder our doctor, Tim Air, needs extra prayers and love. Yes. Deb said, thank you for lurking. If possible, please give Hev a thumbs up. Yes, please. Thank you. It all helps. And George said, always give Hev a thumbs up. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that so much. Deb said it's been said Hillary was taken out already. Yeah, I've heard that too. But what we're seeing now is all exposure. It doesn't matter when it was said or who, you know, even if they've been replaced. It's all exposure. The people believe this shit still, right? So they've just got to expose everything so everyone can see it. Then you got the big event, whatever happens, right? And then God knows after that. But it's going to be good. Okay, Tim Air said, I am feeling better. Whatever this cold virus was made me lose my voice. It's been a long time since I've been sick with anything. The cold lasted about 3 days, but took my voice. I've heard of that, Timmy. And the people are all right, just their voice is gone. Like they're over the flu, but they just don't have, the voice just went. That's it. Rod said, Deb, do lurk on occasion, but always leave a like. Oh, God, love you guys. Thank you. Lucette said, Deb, Real Raw News says Hillary was hanged about 2 years ago. Yep. Deb said, we're blessed to be here with Hev, 4th channel. Lucette said, Hev, YouTube. Conchega said, Lucette, they are only there because of an act of parliament, nothing more, nothing less. How you going, Conchega? Good to see ya. Yeah, it'll get sorted out, Conchega. I believe, like, it will get sorted out. Deb said, what? Hello, Conchega Yowie. J1 said, Port Arthur, Tavistock, follow the psychiatrist. Exactly. But these are stories from, like, you know, the ones that I showed you on the WASP files. They were, that channel is all about Port Arthur. Lucette said, Hev, do you want me to put a link here to the footage of Starmer and Lord Ali? Yes, if you can. If you can, yes, that would be great. I don't know if you can. Can you still put links in a live chat if you're not a mod? Give it a go and let me know, Lucette, if it works. Otherwise, I do know you can come back after the stream and put it in the comments section. So not on the live comments feed, but when I finish the live stream, you can put it just in a comment under the video. Raven said, I'm going to have a few calls to make and a doctor's appointment to book online. See you all next live. Love and blessings. You too, Raven, and look after yourself and the little ones, and much love to your family. Rod said, Tavistock, pretty messed up. Oh, Tavistock is the engineer of social engineering. That's what they are. Stu said, Port Arthur, not Uncle Arthur. Did I say Uncle Arthur? Oh, God, please tell me I didn't say Uncle Arthur. Uncle Arthur, that was a comedy in Australia. Uncle Arthur was. Glenn Robbins. And he used to pretend he was an old guy with a hearing aid, and he'd, you know, be really funny. If you don't know what it is, Uncle Arthur, look it up on YouTube. Dealey said, much love, Raven. George said, Lucette, I would like to see this video. Yeah, I reckon if you can't put it in the chat now, come back, because you can put links in the comments after the video's finished, in just the normal comments section. Deb said, Charlie the Party King was put back on the throne. Lucette said, Stu, is that a Dad's Army quote? No, I think Uncle Arthur's I think he was talking about the Aussie comedian, I think. Okay, cool. I didn't say it, but it reminds you. Good stuff. Thank God for that. I was thinking, how dyslexic or whatever it is am I right now? Rod said, Deb. Oh, my, unfortunately. Deb said, when our Dr. Tim is better, then rumble. Yes, I agree. Stu said, Glenn Robbins played Uncle Arthur on the Comedy Company. Yes, he also played Russell Coit as a comedy series. Yes, he did. All Aussie adventures, time to hit the road. And he's funny. Glenn Robbins is actually funny, but I think I don't know, is he a lefty? I hope not, because he was funny. Anyway, he was in Kath and Kim too as, what was his name? Oh, shit. Kath and Kim. Ken Knight and Kath Day. Yeah, look that up on YouTube too, Kath and Kim. But yeah, he played Uncle Arthur on the Comedy Company, which is another one you can look up on YouTube. there's some of Australian comedy company, and Fast Forward and Full Frontal should be on YouTube. George said, I've watched a few videos of Anatoly Lol. Yeah, he's good, isn't he? J1 said it would be live on Rumble today, Hev, lols. Lucette said, J1 mumble. Stu said, he reminds me of our first proper girlfriend, Dad Crikey. Your first proper girlfriend's dad? Crikey? Okay. Pat said, most of my good friends are other nationalities. We are a multinational family. Yeah, look, there's good and bad in every, like even rich people, there's good and bad. Politicians, there's good and bad. In hospitals, there's good and bad. Like doctors, there's good and bad. In our races, there are good and bad. Yeah. That's all I can say. I think it's all exposure. That's what I think it is. Deb said, Cat got his tongue. Lucette said, I've seen a picture of Hillary's dead body after she was cut down. Wow. Stu said, interesting note, 6 out of 7 psych nurses become patients in time. Yes. Where was I up to? Not that far back. Good. J1 said, Stu, probably because of demonic exposure. Concheca said the same goes for all the royal family. They are unalived and being played by actors. FYI, 1701, Act of Settlement, 1689, Bill of Rights, no Catholic should or can wear the crown. Deb said, I sent my new daddy Crikey sock for Christmas. He was stoked. How blessed I am to have a second father as beautiful and as amazing as my birth father. Oh, God love you, Deb. Lucette said, I'll do that, Hev. Excellent, Lucette. Thank you so much. Deb said, cool, so I can add pictures. Concheca said, Deb, wait until you find out who the crikey bloke really is. George said, take care, Raven. Stu said, sending socks is so Aussie, Deb. Deb said, no, Hev, you did not say uncle, but it reminds us. Yeah, J1, socks and undies for the men in the family for presents. Deb said, yes, my stepdad was born in England. Oh, no, I don't hold it against him. Stu said, my mate who knew Glenn said he was a right prick in real life. Oh, no, really? It always spoils it for you when they're like that, doesn't it? Deb said, oh, my God, they'll have their minds blown. Deb said, Steve is my new daddy's name too. Oh, God love you. Concheca said, J1, Tavistock Institute is actually who proved all the music and lyrics for the Beatles. When he died, Theodore Adorno, so did the Beatles. J1 said, Stu, I heard he was a foreskin, but when you peeled it back, he was a right prick. Good one, J1. And Rod said, Deb had the opportunity to raise my daughter, wonderful and challenging, a daddy's girl. So was I, actually. As a kid, I was daddy's girl. I loved my dad. I still love my dad. And my mum, I love them both. But Stu said, yes, have it ruined it for me too. Oh, it's sad. Concheca said, Glenn Robbins is as funny as a wet fart. I'm never going to watch it the same way again now. Anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure, but my daughter's birthday is this week. And I'm not sure which day I may have to take off. If you don't see me tomorrow, then that's when it is. But I might get a video done before I go anyway. We'll see what happens. If I'm not live, I'll do a video quickly. Stu said, but I still get a laugh out of him. Cool. Okay, guys, much love. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.